So welcome to Take a Virtual Vacation, and we are going to start with river cruising and AMAWaterways going to Europe and Egypt. We will be talking with Kathy Brock with AMAWaterways, and just to kind of give you an idea of who we are and what we're doing, this is Take a Virtual Vacation until we can get back out on the road again and travel to these wonderful destinations. We at least want to give you a little bit of a break each week and take you to a different vacation virtually and let you learn about these destinations, decide where you want to go, and when the time comes to really book your vacation, you'll already have an idea of where you want to travel to. Who we are, there are four of us. Maria Stephanopoulos with Ingenious Travel, myself, I'm Susan Schaefer, Ships and Trips Travel. We also have Barbara Oliver with All Together Now Travel and Gail Sherman with Wine Lovers Travel. We have come together to form Take a Virtual Vacation, which is a Facebook group, and to provide these weekly webinars for you. And here's our contact information. So if you want to reach out to whichever one of us referred you to the Facebook group when you're ready to travel, we'd be more than happy, of course, to help you. Also, if you have any questions about these destinations, we would be happy to answer those questions for you. So right now, I am going to hand over the screen sharing to Kathy, and she is going to take us to river cruises in Europe and Egypt.
Yes, okay, share. And you know, I'm all over this virtual thing, but I'm ready for the real thing. And it couldn't come soon enough for me. In fact, I was just on a call and they mentioned perhaps the fall, and I just can't wait. I got to do this. So one of the things I want to point out is the difference with river cruising versus your big ship or your blue water experiences. I think right now, the name cruise is getting a somewhat negative connotation because of the experiences of those big ships. Well, a river cruise ship is so distinctly different because, number one, our ships are 156 passengers. So we're not talking 2,000 to 4,000 to 6,000 people. We are not out in international waters. We are only on the rivers in the interior of Europe. We do not cross international borders. We're crossing different country borders, and we're subject to all their regulations. So whatever health and security regulations are coming from them as well as from us, we will be following. There's also huge differences between a river cruise and an ocean cruise in that the number of things that are included without an extra cost. You're going to get on a big ship and you're going to have to pay for every excursion. Every excursion with us included between 4 and 6 excursions every single day. A specialty restaurant on a big ship is going to cost $38, $45 a person plus tip and plus wine. Our specialty restaurant is included. We have no beverage package because we're already serving the premium wines where you are sailing. We change out the wines every single day, different red wine and white wine. And if you're on a big ship and you need to stay connected through Wi-Fi, there's that Wi-Fi package, which will run almost $200 for the cruise. That is included with us as well. A little Apple TV in every cabin with Wi-Fi connection, and we're also wired for at least 4G for free Wi-Fi. In fact, we spent as much last year on Wi-Fi as we did on fuel. So if you need to stay connected, is the way to do it. You have to understand about the rivers to start with river cruising, because everybody knows there's a Rhine River somewhere. Well, here's the Rhine River up here. Everybody's heard of the Danube River. Well, Danube's down here. And these rivers were never connected until 1992. This construction of the Main-Danube Canal only opened in 92. It covers 106 miles. It changes elevation by over 13 feet. It's an absolute engineering marvel. It's structured with a series of locks. So you literally will go into a lock, and every lock you'll go up until you reach the Continental Divide, and then the locks on the other side are going to take you down. Now, you have to understand that the rivers of Europe were the original highways. If you think back to if you've had rain for 4 or 5 days, back in the times of the Middle Ages, you weren't going to take that wagon or that carriage from point A to point B, but you could always move on the rivers. So the river banks is where civilization grew up, starting with a little Celtic settlement. Settlement grew to a village, village grew to a town, and then towns grew to these fabulous cities that literally lined the riverbanks of Europe. That's why when we pull into a city or town, we're literally able to walk off the ship and do walking tours, bicycle tours, hiking tours, or culinary tours. And like I say, they're all included. So actually, with the advent of the Main-Danube Canal, the rivers start up here at Amsterdam, which is the site of the North Sea, and the rivers are connected now through 15 different countries all the way down to the Black Sea. And most of these river cruises are divided into 7-night cruise. You also have an extension pre or post that can be added on as well. Wonderful rivers over in France. The Seine, which is Normandy. The Rhone, which is Provence, which is fabulous. Bordeaux, which is a very wine-focused region. Just came off a webinar with our new VP of Operations, expanded on our offerings in Bordeaux. So I used to say, if you're not into wine, pick another river, but now we're going to have all kinds of other options for your walking and hiking and culinary tours there. So it will not be so intensely wine focused, although that's a pretty awesome part of it. Also, the same is true down here in Portugal. The Douro is the oldest wine region in the world. Actually, this area is probably the most beautiful, scenic, and amazing in the world. So when you do a big ship, again, going back to that, when you travel to these countries, you're going to pull into the edge of the country into a port, and then you're going to have 4 or 5 hours in the port. Then you're going back and get back on the ship and move to another place. Have you really experienced that destination? This is the way you do a destination. If you want to travel to Europe, this is the way to travel Europe. You cannot get to Prague, Budapest, Cologne, Heidelberg, Strasbourg on those big ships. You can only do it on the rivers. So this is your best description. Its oceans will take you to countries, but only rivers are going to take you through them. This is a little town on the Danube, fabulous town of Dürnstein. That's one of our ships there, never out of sight of land, no inside cabins, and no sense of motion on a river cruise ship. So we literally pull into this little town of Dürnstein, and we have a choice of 4 or 5 different tours you can take. Anything from wine and apricot tasting, to a vineyard and a wine cellar, to the walking tours, this fabulous little town. Amazing experience, very destination focused. And the good thing about river cruising is it attracts very like-minded people. People that go on a river cruise are there for the destination, not a casino or a climbing wall or a buffet line. That's not why you come to Europe. You come to Europe for art, architecture, culture, cuisine, and wine. And that's what you experience on the rivers. We are unique in the industry in that we are a small family-owned company. There are 3 families that started this company 18 years ago, still completely own and operate this company after 18 years. And they make all the decisions. It's not a level of corporate mentality or levels of management. Susan and Maria can call or email any one of these 3 people and they will respond. Rudy is our owner architect, educated in Vienna, and designs the ships and designs the itineraries. Was the first president of Viking River Cruises. You might have heard of them. Prior to that, in '92, he was vice president of another river cruise line. So he is known as the godfather of river cruising. He invented something called the French balcony, which I'll show you. Christine Karst also came from Europe. She came from Germany, actually Dresden, and never traveled until the wall came down. fascinating story. And then over here on the right is Gary Murphy, and Gary's dad, his dad, Jimmy Murphy, straight out of Dublin, Ireland, used to own a company named Brendan Tours. So these three families got together 18 years ago, kind of had an idea what might happen in the travel industry with river cruising, and decided maybe we'll build a river cruise line and have two ships. Well, nobody knew what was going to happen in this industry. And now we are 18 years old and we only have 19 ships. Now, what's distinguishing there is that we have only built 1 or 2 ships a year. So we have a total of 19 ships. The folks that you're going to find on television actually have 75 ships. There's a huge difference between quality control for 19 ships and for 75 ships. Also, please note that we put 156 passengers on our ships, while those other folks put 192. Now, that means there's 40 more people in the lounge. There's 40 more people in the dining room. There are much smaller cabins, starting at 135 and 150 square feet. Huge difference there. Think about the noise level in a dining room or a lounge with 40 more people. We built these ships 1 or 2 at a time, and we paid for the ships in full. There are no interest payments. There's no payments due on these ships. They are debt-free. Now, in this day and age, that is huge. When you wonder who's going to be here at the end of this, AMAWaterways will. So here's Rudy's quote that I love: "There is no debt on any of our ships. I can sleep at night." So we love it. We will have all kinds of extended safety and hygiene requirements coming out of that. We've never had buffets. Our breakfast is served. Our lunch is always served, but we've had a salad bar, at least for the now. That'll go away. And the dinners are 5-course served dinners as well. So we will have boarding requirements for guests, for crew, for hotel and service staff as well. There'll be extreme hygiene standards you can expect, and the food safety will be above and beyond, because AMA is all about food and wine and the local experience. So rest assured on that one. We do have an offer. If you are working in the medical field, you need to pay attention to this. This was just released this weekend, and it can be booked through Susan and Maria. It is for frontline medical workers, as in doctors, nurses, pharmacists, EMTs. We will give a free space on a river cruise to these healthcare workers. It would be done through Susan and Maria. We have a free cabin if it's booked within 90 days, or we have a discount, $1,000 off per person, and free gratuities if it's booked further out than the 90 days. So just AMA's way of saying thank you, and we love our frontline heroes. There's another picture of the Danube River looking down on that blue Baroque tower in Dürnstein. This is the kind of scenery you see all along the rivers. And you're literally going to see these little storybook towns. There will be a town right here, and the most predominant thing in the town will be the church spire, because that's the center of the town. So they built the cities on the rivers, and actually the storytellers came from here too. If you think these look like fairy tales, well, the Grimm brothers, who wrote Grimm's fairy tales, lived on this river. So that's a difference there. Now, when we got to build a longer ship as of 2010, Rudy came up with a new cabin design, so that ever since 2010, every ship we've built has been this design as our signature category. We do have a few fixed windows. We do have a few cabins that are French balcony. This is a French balcony. French balcony is simply sliding glass doors, opens completely out onto the river, is not a step out balcony. The next category up, and those ships are 148 passengers. Then we have the category which Rudy came up with, which is called a twin balcony. A twin balcony has the French balcony, but as you can see, it's got a step out balcony, 2 chairs and a table facing the river. And as you can see, this has to come into the cabin. It can't hang off the side of the ship. So Rudy had to take and only add his 6 cabins because this new design has to have 210 to 235 square feet. And that's a huge difference. So this is our signature cabin design, and it's absolutely amazing. You're also going to see pictures through here that show our design and decor, which we call country club casual. That's the way we dress, as well as the decor on the ship. Over here is the Apple TV, which you'll find in every stateroom. It is connected to cable TV. It does have a keyboard under it for internet access. And again, there's that Wi-Fi throughout the ship as well. Now, the last 6 ships we've built are even more innovative in that these have the option of connecting cabins. That is, 2 cabins connect to each other for multi-generation or for senior parent. These ships also have a triple cabin capacity, which is a 3rd person. That's a single bed. And these have suites that will accommodate a family of 4. Bedrooms over here behind this screen, and this is a full queen size bed here. So just another thing that we do so differently. This is Rudy and Christine. I want you to meet them. The film will stutter when it shows their mouths, but it straightens out.
Why the name AMA?
AMA in Latin, amore, means love. For us, there was so much love that went into the creation of our company.
That's the whole reason for AMAWaterways.
Together, we had a dream to create the very best river cruise line that would be out there. Ships that we would enjoy ourselves. River cruising is something very intimate. It's an immersion into the culture. You see the country. We are docked mostly in the heart of the city.
The destination is still the countries you visit, not so much the ship. The river cruise really gives you double the leisure time. The ship is a means of luxury transportation from destination to destination.
The AMAWaterways was Rudy's dream. We have created the most unique floating boutique hotel on the Danube River, I would say on all the rivers.
This ship is double as wide as other ships. 4 restaurants. It has large staterooms. It has a fantastic wellness area.
We even have spinning bikes with the most magical view to the river.
We also have a nice massage rooms. We have a hairdresser on board.
We offer some classes, stretching, core, and then we go out on our tours. We are all included. Or maybe you want to just jump into our beautiful swimming pool. I see more and more guests just sitting there, enjoying a glass of wine while the ship is cruising, enjoying the scenery until we arrive in our next port. You open a storybook, and every day you fill a blank page with an adventure. At AMA, we are very proud of our people. Our crew is part of our family. They are so genuine. They anticipate the needs of our guests. We are so fortunate to be surrounded by crew members and our cruise managers with the right attitude, with the right heart, with the sparkle, and with the genuine smile. We look forward to welcoming you to our AMAWaterways family.
And we'll see you on the Danube. Cheers.
So you have met our owners, Rudy and Christine, and they are absolutely amazing people. I joined this company 15 years ago, the year we built our first ship, and it's been incredible. I want to introduce you to this ship, which is unique. She was Rudy's dream ship. He had her in his head for 7 years. It took 2 years to build her. Now, she's an exception to most river cruise ships. Most river cruise ships are 38 feet wide. Now, that's because they have to fit in a lock that literally will give them 11 inches of clearance inside that lock. But when you reach the bottom of the Main-Danube Canal, and you go from there, which is in the area of Wiesbaden and Vienna, and all the way down to the Black Sea, those rivers, those locks will take 2 ships at a time, or in our case, 1 AMAMagna. When I tell you she's not 38 feet wide, she's 72 feet wide, you really don't get a mental image of this until you see this picture. This is the AMAMagna next to a longship. The trick is here that both of these ships carry the same number of passengers. So consider the space ratio on this ship. Consider that she has the 4 dining venues. Her average cabin size is 355 square feet. Rudy could have added more cabins, could have made smaller cabins, could have locked more people, but that is not his intent. So introducing the AMAMagna, which premiered last May, is available from the bottom of the Main-Danube Canal to the Black Sea. The Alfresco restaurant has this beautiful window all the way around looking out on the river on the main deck. Jimmy's is old-fashioned Irish dining with family cuisine. The chef's table is a unique thing to AMA in that we have it on all of our ships. On all of our ships, the chef's table will accommodate 24 to 26 people and has a private chef in a demonstration kitchen preparing and plating a 7-course paired wine dinner, and there is no charge for dining at the chef's table. It's included. What's different on the Magna is instead of a glassed-in kitchen, the chef has an open kitchen, so he's right there in the middle of the dining room, so you get to experience the whole thing. Again, country club casual. Our main dining room is unique in the industry in that AMAWaterways has tables for 2. We have tables for 4. We have some 5-top tables. Now, why do we have 5 tops? Well, we have solo travelers. So what a delight for them. 6 and 8. So the reason I point that out is that you look at all the other river cruise lines, almost every one of them has every table in their dining room that seats 6 people. So that is not only dinner with 6, that is breakfast with 6. And we think people like to gather in smaller groups and enjoy each other's company. More space, just much more space. If you walk into this hallway, you are never going to have seen a hall this big on any ship anywhere. It's just absolutely amazing. Beautiful main lounge with a large dance floor. 2 other lounges with little fireplaces. These are just public areas that you can go sit, watch the scenery float by, take out your book or your iPad and enjoy it, as well as up on that sun deck, which is an amazing experience. We have a cinema here, which is really fun the night you've been in Salzburg, because that night after dinner, we'll be screening the movie Sound of Music, so you can enjoy it with your wine and your popcorn and reminisce over the fabulous day you had in beautiful Salzburg. All of our ships have a fitness center, a beauty salon, and a massage center. That's included on all of our ships. This one, the Zen Wellness Studio, much larger than all the other ships, and even has its own juice bar, which is strangely enough positioned right outside the door to the massage rooms. And yes, we're active adult. It almost makes me want to learn how to go spinning, but maybe not. So we have either a pool or jacuzzi on the top deck of all of our ships. They're heated, comfortable for all year round. This actually takes a picture from the jacuzzi, so it's hard to see how large this is. This is also one of the 5 bars. That's a pop-up bar up on that top deck. Rudy also invented the first elevator ever on a river cruise ship that goes all the way to the sun deck. What you have to understand about a river cruise ship is everything on the top deck needs to lower, even the wheelhouse in the case of low bridges. So there is the first elevator to ever go to the sun deck. Typically, you're going to have to take stairs from the main deck up to the sun deck. But this rises up, you step out of the elevator, and then it lowers back down. So absolutely genius. Our average cabin size is 355 square feet. These are amazing. The bathroom has floating vanities and a walk-in shower and a separate water closet. Your seating area, again, here has that Apple TV and seating area. Then in the bedroom, you have a huge television on this wall opposite, and you have a fabulous balcony that's full step out with chairs. So that is the average cabin on this ship. All of our ships have bicycles on board. Every other ship has 25 bicycles. We do escorted bicycle tours and hiking tours, which means we always send out 2 guides, one out the front and one in the back. Keep everybody up, enjoy it, take you back to the ship if you want to. The AMAWaterways actually has 50 bicycles on board and smaller ones for kids. Those premium wines are served every single day, and it's a different red wine and white wine every day. I was on last year and they served me my wine and I went, you know, I really like the one from last night better. Oh, no problem, we'll bring you that. So absolutely amazing area you're in, with very wine focused and very cuisine focused, and you get to experience all that on a river cruise. Christmas markets is something that is something you may never heard of before or thought of, but I have to tell you, this is the most magical experience I've ever been on. I've done this 7 times. And they have got to give me a date for this year because I'm ready. Christmas markets open based on Advent. That's usually about the 24th or 25th of November. You don't have to go over Christmas. But last year, actually Vienna opened on the 15th of November and Budapest before that. Now, this is the main market, of which there are 6 in beautiful Vienna. That is the Rathaus, or the city hall. And what you see in Europe is they don't decorate a tree. They decorate their entire cities. There's one picture I just put on Facebook yesterday. That's the street in Vienna that's chandeliers all the way down the street. I mean, huge chandeliers. It's just a magical time, and every street is different. This is the Rathaus, and up here, the main street, and then all the way from the main street to the city hall are these lovely little market stalls. Everybody's out. This is a local thing. People are standing in front of the market stall, sipping the hot mulled wine or the cider or the hot chocolate. You're going to smell the sausages roasting and nuts roasting, and smell that fresh gingerbread, Lebkuchen as well. So great place to also do all your Christmas shopping in 1 week. You just need a spare suitcase to bring it home. Another one of my absolute favorite cities at Christmas time, actually my favorite city in the world, is the beautiful city of Prague. Prague Old Town Square here has a huge plaza with this monster tree that they time the music with the lights. And here's another view of that. Just incredible. The street food in these markets is incredible. If you ever wondered where Walt Disney got his ideas, all you have to do is look around these cities and towns. Cinderella's castle is Ludwigscastle in Germany. That wonderful castle in Rapunzel is also one of the castles in Geneva, Switzerland. So absolutely incredible. Beast Castle is Chambord in France. That's Salzburg, beautiful Salzburg, full day excursion there, driving through the Austrian hills to get there, walking tour in the morning or bike tour, and then afternoon free to have your lunch and cruise the market or go shopping. We always decorate beautifully on the inside of our ships, but you're going to stand on a riverbank on any of these rivers, and if you see an AMAWaterways ship comes down the river, you will know it immediately because we are lighted outside as well as inside. During the cruise, we'll have a couple of Christmas trees, and we have a little competition with the guests decorating. Santa Claus might come, and my favorite day is St. Nicholas Day, when we tell you to put a shoe out in the hallway outside your stateroom. And that night, St. Nicholas will deliver a goodie into your shoe, either a good thing or a bad thing, supposedly on how you behaved. I got the bad this year. The Glühwein is a signature drink in the wintertime over there. It's a hot mulled wine. It's got spices, oranges, cloves, cinnamon. It's just incredible. They usually come with little souvenir mugs as well, or you can always get the hot cider or hot chocolate in these markets as well. We have about to be three different exotic destinations. We have a small ship in Africa on the Chobe River. That's between Zimbabwe and Botswana. That ship is quite small. She only has 14 cabins, and she does a 4-night cruise on the Chobe River. Then she goes to Victoria Falls for 2 nights. And then that gets added to an itinerary that either includes South Africa or East Africa. Our other exotic is Southeast Asia, which is Cambodia and Vietnam. One of the most astounding, powerful, and life-changing trips I've ever done. And I've done Africa twice. So we're adding to this script of exotic options for you by introducing in September of 21, Egypt and the Nile. Now, the Nile's different because you can't just do a 7-night cruise on the Nile. You have to combine that with a stay in Cairo. So our itinerary starts with 3 nights in Cairo, and oh, by the way, at the Four Seasons Hotel. Does your 7-night cruise, which includes everything, Luxor, Aswan, the pyramids, the Sphinx, all of those fabulous temples, and then goes back for 1 night in Cairo. Again, the Four Seasons Hotel. Rudy is designing this ship and building it. She is called the Amadalia, which is a flower in Egypt. She will only have 34 suites. So I can tell you what a priority this is to book this. Now, the other thing about AMAWaterways, if you would like to book a cruise this year, next year, we just opened today 2022 bookings. All that AMAWaterways requires is a $400 per person deposit. And then there is nothing else due until 90 days from sailing. Now, there is a line out there that requires you to pay in full within 30 days, even if it's a year out. We do not do that. So $400 will nail down that cabin and keep it for you, and then nothing else due until 90 days. Inside the Amadalia, well, let's go to the top deck first. Incredible decor on this ship, beautiful swimming pool on the top deck, main lobby area that's just going to be stunning, and the main lounge too. Very comfortable, country club casual, just like we do for everything. So it's going to be an amazing experience. It is booking like crazy now. People really want to put something on their calendar. I mean, if there's ever a time when we wanted something to look forward to, I use the word beyond. I am ready to get my head beyond where we are and think where I want to go beyond, what I want to experience, who I want to take with me. And that is huge. So this is one of those things you really should be planning. I have 3 quotes that I always wrap up with. I stole the first one from a quote from Buddha. And like I say, I so fell in love with that Southeast Asia experience. The Buddhist culture is gracious and welcoming and forgiving and so cheerful. It's an amazing, incredible experience to experience a whole different culture. I would have stolen the quote no matter who said it, but the fact that it's attributed to Buddha means more to me. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I have to do these first. I forgot the Egypt. We always have a pre and post package available, so you can decide. For instance, if you're doing the Danube, you have to promise me you will never do the Danube without including the 3 nights in Prague. Absolutely amazing. Dubai is one of the options on the front end for Egypt, and it's 3 nights. The other one that's incredible is Jordan, which would include Amman and Petra, these fabulous ruins in Petra. Our post-cruise package here is just, I'm excited about because it is 4 nights in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Jerusalem. So it's going to give you all of Jerusalem, Masada, the Dead Sea, everything about that. So the perfect combination for you to experience that whole trip together. The quote from Buddha, sorry, I got ahead of myself, or behind. Buddha says, the trouble is, you think you have time. You know you're always going to feel this good. You're always going to be able to travel with your kids, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews. How many of us know somebody who thought they had time and they didn't? So you can always make more money. You can't always make more memories. And nothing makes memories better than travel. So I'm telling you, travel with those kids, those grandkids, that family. Family has never meant as much to us as it will this year, because we've recognized what we have and what we want to keep. Mr. Carson from Downton Abbey said it best when he said, the business of life is the acquisition of memories. So I'm telling you, put it on your calendar, anticipate it, start reading books that take place where you're going, start watching movies that are going to take place, look for recipes, get ready to immerse yourself in these destinations. And I will switch back.
Okay.
You there?
Yep.
Yay.
And now we will do this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Me too. I need
Yep.
that Christmas market date.
Okay, so we are ready to take questions. Maria, do you have any questions there?
I do. Danny had asked, if everything is all-inclusive, what's the value in the onboard credit?
Well, excuse me. There is one thing. Well, there's the gift shop, which is pretty fantastic on our ships. Beautiful jewelry, handmade German jewelry that I'm suckered into every time. But one thing we do not include is gratuities. And the reason for that is Rudy's philosophy that if the staff knows their gratuity before you walk on board, they have no reason to overperform, and he expects overperformance. So that would be your option there. If you go to the bar, between meals, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and want a glass of wine, that is not included because it's beer, wine, and soft drinks at lunch and dinner, champagne with breakfast for that mimosa. And we do have a happy hour the hour before dinner. But if you'd like to purchase a glass of wine along the way, it could go towards that. But we also don't guard the gangway. So if you've got visit a vineyard and you love the wine, bring a bottle back. That's fine with us. We're not like the big ships that are going to charge you for everything. So
Great. And how do you work with people with dietary restrictions?
thank you for that question. We can accommodate any dietary need with the exception of kosher. We do vegetarian, we do vegan, we do gluten-free. It's not unusual with somebody that has a lot of food issues for the chef to come out the night before, sit down with the person and say, you know, this is what's planned for tomorrow, this is what you can eat, this is what you shouldn't eat. So that is very accommodating. We do have the detox waters and the smoothie in the morning and everything like that. So we're very accommodating with that.
Wonderful. And is it best to book our air through AMA or to do it either on our own or through the agent?
Your advisors right there are going to check everything. We do have bulk air, so it tends to be terrific air rates, but they will check all their other sources as well to get you the best option. Doing it all in one package is seamless because you're going to fly, we're going to meet you at the airport, we're going to do the transfers to the ship, we're going to do all of that, and then get you back on the plane to go home. So it provides a seamless experience, but it's totally your decision.
Okay. And we've read about the golf itineraries. How do those work?
The what?
Golf itineraries.
Oh, the golf, yes. The golf is only available on the AMAWaterways. So it's only going from Wilshofen to Budapest or vice versa. It's called a concierge golf program because you're going to have the concierge that's going to take your golf clubs at the first course or hotel, going to transport them to every course, take you to the courses in leather-lined Mercedes vehicles, include lunch with beer and wine at the clubhouses. It's all included. The concierge golf program is priced per person. So if one of the folks is a golfer and the other is not, the non-golfer always has all our excursions to do. The golfer's gone for 4.5 hours. Also, we're not golfing in major ports. There's no golf the day in Vienna. There is no golf the day in Salzburg. We're golfing in little ports like Bratislava. And trust me, you can walk Bratislava when you come back to the ship in about 30 minutes. But all of that is covered with the concierge golf program. And like I say, it's done individually. So you don't have to sign up for 2 at a time.
Wonderful. Susan, do you have any questions?
Yep, I have a few that came in here. We have a question from Karen asking what the length of time typically is in the ports of call.
We're typically, depends on the itinerary, we would be repositioning the ship at night if it's not a scenic area. If it is a scenic area, we will sail that during the day, so you can experience that. Say again.
Length of time in the port.
Oh yeah, time in port. Yes, we will dock in the morning, and then we will have an excursion. We have the walking tours, the biking tours, even the culinary tours, and then we'll have free time after that. You always have the option. You could come back to the ship for lunch, or you could duck into one of those little cafes or beer gardens along the way and experience that. You're never far away. You just tap the guide on the shoulder and say, I know where the ship is, you know, I know when sailing time is. A lot of folks do get off the ship after dinner and go back into the port and experience that as well, because we're typically not going to sail till midnight or 1 a.m. You just need to pay attention which one it is.
Okay. And then you had mentioned the $400 per person deposits. Are those non-refundable or are they refundable?
It's like 50-50. You know, it's based on that time schedule. If you apply for a refund within so much time of booking, you get half of that back. So 200 of that would not be.
Okay. And then we have a question from Gail. She wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about the enhanced travel insurance that AMAWaterways is currently offering.
Oh, the Travel Waiver Plus is incredible. One thing unique about this is typically to get a travel waiver like this, you will have to have bought our insurance to begin with, or assurance policy. In this case, we have two options. We have the option of, if you have already purchased our policy, then it's $80 to add on to it. If you have not purchased our assurance policy, you can still add this on for $175 per person. Basically, it's cancel for any reason up until 24 hours before sailing. I don't feel like I want to go. You can cancel and reschedule. That is included with the Travel Waiver Plus.
Okay. And then Gail also wanted to know, apparently she has done your wine cruises before and was asking about the hosted cruises where wineries come on board. How does that work?
Those are designated as wine cruises. If we were normally operating this year, we would have 67 of these this year. They have a wine host on board. It's a very unique program in that instead of a European vintner on board, we're inviting a North American vintner to come on board and be the host. Now, the North American vintner is going to do tastings. They're going to do lectures. They're going to do a paired wine dinner with a different wine at every course of dinner. And they're going to go with us to the vineyards and the wine cellars. This is included. It is not at an extra cost. It is included on wine cruises, and there are most highly rated cruises every single year. Now, the question is, why are we doing North American wines? And our whole philosophy here is there's such a difference between New World wines, which is what we're accustomed to. These California and Oregon and wines tend to be bold and hearty and fruit forward, whereas the European wines are usually more steeped in tradition and softer, and you literally learn to appreciate both.
Okay. I think that's all for the questions. Did you have any more questions, Maria?
Nope, I got through mine.
So that is it then for our AMAWaterways for our river cruising in Europe and Egypt. And to keep up on any future destinations that we are going to be offering in these virtual vacation webinars, you can find us in Facebook at Take a Virtual Vacation, or of course reach out to any of us. That would be Maria with Ingenious Travel, myself with Ships and Trips Travel, Barbara with Altogether Now Travel, and Gail with Wine Lovers Travel. Until next time, thank you very much.